We always talk about the start being critical, the whole shot, but here at Anaheim, it is even more important. Take a look over my shoulder. It is 290 feet, almost the length of a football field, down to the first turn. And then you've got to make it into this very narrow opening. These guys are going to be going hard, and then you better have one other thing besides a lot of horsepower. You better have a lot of bravery, because you're going to have to get on the brakes late to make it into that first turn first.
David Bailey, as we look at the gate right now, Jeremy McGrath, oh, we're looking right into his eyes. He's very serious. The last time we had two races in one city was in Pontiac, Michigan. In 1993, it was Jeremy's rookie year. He won the second evening in that particular doubleheader. Now, he came in 7th here in our opener, and he's anxious to get out there and win this second one in the city of Anaheim.
Hard. If practice were any indication, I would just go ahead and put my money on McGrath right now. He went out, established the fastest pace, which jumps were capable of being jumped. Everyone was just pretty much keying off of him. Pichon was fast, Larry Ward was fast, but McGrath looked a little bit better than everyone else so far tonight.
You saw Pichon. Larry Ward, the winner in Seattle last week, is also in this field, along with Kevin Windham, Jeff Emig, Sebastian Tortelli, Steve Lamson, Greg Albertine. You see their backs there. There's Tortelli, number 44. Heath Voss will be having our helmet cam, and that ought to be interesting as we single in on Heath Voss going over some of these jumps. There are very steep triples here in Anaheim tonight.
Well, there's the helmet cam. You can see right on the top. Heath Voss' sign is sideways for Heat 1.
And we're off and running. That's Heath Voss taking off. Break it up a little bit. Let's see who gets the whole shot. Number 1, Jeremy McGrath. McGrath coming out of the corner. Tortelli, number 44. And Steve Lamson, number 24. Right there, along with Kevin Windham. Impressive starts from some riders, David Bailey, who haven't shown too well this year.
Plus, a pretty good start for our helmet cam, too. Heath Voss right there behind Tortelli for a moment. Kevin Windham up there again.
Jeremy McGrath right where he wants to be. McGrath went 4 for 4 here in Anaheim before this year's season opener. He got his very first Supercross win here in Anaheim in 1993, his rookie year.
Now McGrath just did something a little special right there. There's the difference. Tortelli jumping over his teammate. When you come out of that left before the triple, if everything isn't perfect, you best not go for it.
Jeremy now starting to pull away from the Team Honda rider. Lamson moving into third now. Tortelli in second. Steve Lamson on the number 24. Mazda Chaparral Yamaha. Jeremy McGrath's teammate. Kevin Windham now. And Lamson going at it for third.
A moment ago, Kevin was right there behind Jeremy. Now he sits in fourth. Jeremy's gone. Been kind of a mystery as to why Kevin hasn't ridden in the races like he does during the week. During the week, he's the man. He's the fastest guy. And in practice, he looks good, too. But in the races, he's just been coming up a little short.
Really the mystery of the 99 season, David Bailey. As we see Steve Lamson out in front of him right here. His last podium appearance was a third in 96 here.
You can see just a last little shot of Windham there, kind of cased that little last group into the corner. Just his timing isn't perfect. He needs to be perfect out here to be able to keep the pace with McGrath and Lusk.
McGrath is our leader. We'll be right back. The checkers will fly. Here in our... Welcome back to Edison International Field in Anaheim, California. Our first qualifying heat is underway. And here is Heath Voss, number 28. Trying to pick up on Kevin Windham, number 14 of Team Honda. Way out in front is Jeremy McGrath. McGrath now with a 6-second lead in first place.
Oh, this is the section right here where he's making up a lot of time, where Kevin just kind of jumped down into that valley and McGrath jumps the whole thing. Tortelli has a problem.
Tortelli was passed by both Lamson and Windham. And now Heath Voss also. Let's go down to Marty Reed.
Well, guys, you were talking about Kevin Windham earlier. I talked to him right before the race. I said, how are the effects of the flu? He says, I'm better than I was. I said, what do you think, 75%? He says, I'm not sure I'm that good. But so far, he's riding pretty well here.
Kevin Windham led 2 laps in Seattle. And that is all he has led this year, which has been very disappointing to him. He almost put too much pressure on himself, David Bailey.
Well, and I'm putting a little extra on him right now, too. And I'd kind of forgotten that he was feeling so bad. He's probably just thinking, you know, if I can get in the main, I don't care if it's fourth, just get me there so I can rest.
About 5 laps to go for Jeremy McGrath here in the opening qualifying round. As we take a look still at the battle with Kevin Windham. He won a 125 race here in 1996. He's always liked the Anaheim track.
Gets a nice run from that outside.
His best race of the year so far in '99 was the opener when he took a 4th place. He started in 7th and moved up to finish 4th.
A lot of riders in this qualifier look like they could be going to the semi, including Albertine, Tortelli, Emig, and Pichon.
A 9-second lead for Jeremy McGrath over his teammate Steve Lamson.
Ward just slid out.
Larry Ward slid out, yes.
He's right behind Pichon and slid out, coming out of the corner up to the finish line jump. So you can see, looks like unless some sort of a miracle happens, he'll be going to the semi as well.
Remember, only the top 4 make it to the main event. Right now, that is Jeremy McGrath, Steve Lamson.
Beautiful line right there by Lamson. Problem is, if you go out and jump that, it's faster if you're by yourself, but you can get cut off the way Windham just cut him off. Didn't allow him to do the triple.
Kevin Windham, number 14, getting in front of Steve Lamson now. So it's McGrath, Windham, Lamson, and Voss in line to get the transfer to the main event. Now Albertine has moved in front of Voss.
And McGrath has got a 9-second lead now as you take a look at the leaderboard.
McGrath, Windham, Lamson, and Albertine, the top 4, with Voss now moving back to 5th.
There's McGrath going the other way. You can keep an eye on these guys.
Jeff Emig and Pichon trailing Voss in that lineup. Destined for the semifinals as we see 3 laps to go.
I talked with DeCoster after practice, and he seemed to think this would be a pretty good night for Albertine. Looked good out there. He was jumping everything. Even though it's a pretty busy track, really technical, he's riding aggressive.
Albie looking for a breakthrough as well. Albertine with a 16th, a 20th, a 12th, and a 5th place finish in Seattle. A big improvement, Marty Reed.
You're right, guys. In fact, when we were here at Anaheim first time, remember, it was Albertine who was knocked down with the flu. And he says this is really, since Seattle, the first 2 races where he has been 100%.
Less than 2 laps to go in our opening qualifying heat, and Jeremy McGrath has just stolen the crowd.
This is the section where he was making up a lot of his time. He can't do it now because of the lapped rider, but getting out of this, look at that run to the triple. He's only got about 30 feet to get up all that speed.
A great shot, too. You can see how high they go and how bumpy it gets down near that track. Jeremy McGrath with the American flag flying from his helmet. Remember when he had taillights in his helmet that one year here in Anaheim?
Well, he and Troy Lee always get together and make it special here for this event. This is a new one. It looks pretty cool. At first, I thought, well, I don't know about that, but I thought maybe he's just going to use it for practice, but it's starting to grow on me.
Kind of reminds you, take you back to the old Mickey Thompson days when the top qualifier put a banner on top of his helmet so you can see him coming up through the field. They got points for passing people at that time. We're on our final lap now for Jeremy McGrath in this first qualifying heat of the evening from Anaheim.
McGrath just riding around those big berms, feet on the pegs, great balance.
Of course, Jeremy McGrath having trouble his first time here at Anaheim with the opener. He got tangled up with RC, Ricky Carmichael, and went from 11th on lap 8 to 7th to finish 7th in the race.
He just threw out a knack-knack on the triple a moment ago just to get the crowd a little bit into it.
And he comes across another one, spreading the legs as the checkers fly for Jeremy McGrath. So for Jeremy now, that is his 3rd heat win of the year. Jeremy with 1 win trails LaRocco in the points by only 3 points and is looking to catch up. We'll take a look at the official finishing list as well as those riders who will have to go to the some popular rider in these parts is also in this second qualifying heat, and they're off and running. Which 4 riders will get the transfer to the main? 17 is Robbie Raynard, and getting hung up is Ezra Lust.
You can see the front wheel of Huffman's bike is completely stuck in the back wheel right there of Ezra Lust. Had a tough time getting going. Button's also just now getting going. It'll be a little bit harder for him to get his bike started.
Robbie Reynard and Pedro Gonzalez.
Reynard just came into that corner from the far inside, left it on a little longer, and he just moseyed his way right in there and just to give anybody else any room.
And right behind them, Mike LaRocco. So down was Lusk, Button, Huffman in the first corner. What a bad break. Likely to head to the semifinal round if they can't catch up in less than 8 laps. Robbie Reynard, though, looking very quick.
Look at LaRocco just muscle his way through that whoop section, touching the tops. A little different rhythm through there.
LaRocco, our points leader, is taking on number 53, Pedro Gonzalez. Pedro, the former runner-up in the 125 West several years ago after winning a Mexican championship. LaRocco just trying to find the right way around him.
Well, he thought he had a line to the inside, and Gonzalez moved all the way over. He had to actually back off a little bit, get back over and get some more racetrack.
LaRocco to the inside, and he passes Pedro Gonzalez into second place.
This mechanic telling him, keep going, get Reynard. Reynard's already starting to open up a little lead.
So right now it is Reynard, Jeremy McGrath, Gonzalez, and John Dowd has moved up. He's in back of Gonzalez right now. There's Gonzalez, number 53, and John Dowd, who got his first podium of the year last week in Seattle, a third-place finish.
Everyone going to the inside in the corner before the finish jump there.
6 laps to go in our second qualifying heat. The checkers will be flying when we come back. Our second qualifying heat with 6 laps to go. Robbie Reynard is our leader.
Oh, what a pass by Dowd right there. Just went around the outside of Gonzalez. Didn't look like he had any room. Looked like he had to even duck his elbow a little bit just to miss the handlebar, but he made it stick.
Number 20 is Tim Ferry. He will be the next one to assault Pedro Gonzalez. And out in front with a comfortable lead. It'll be 5 laps to go when Robbie Reynard cuts across the finish line jump. He just did.
This corner right here, everybody was going wide in practice because they were tripling into it. Now everyone's trying to protect their line. They're getting a nice berm there.
Only 4 riders qualify for the main event. David Villeman is now in 6th, moving up as Tim Ferry looking to make a pass into 4th. Pedro Gonzalez holding on pretty well.
Now he left the door open right there, though, again. This is a tough set. Uh-oh.
Ferry goes sideways, and so does John Dowd on the corner. But they hold their positions now. Number 53 is Gonzalez. Here comes David Villeman. Villeman leaps over Gonzalez.
There was a tough box out in the track, and right as Gonzalez got a little squirrely through those whoops, he saw that, tried to change his line. That's where we're going to see a lot of passing tonight, Art, that whoop section. This one here, everyone seems to be using the same timing. They go 3, 2 through the middle, and 3 out. I haven't seen anybody do it different. Villeman using some body English to make that bike stick right where he wants it. Look how far forward he gets over the bike.
He got an atrocious start in the last main here in Anaheim, starting at 18th and ended up in 13th. Got a 4th was his best finish in Anaheim on the 125s in 1996. Let's check in with Marty Reed, trackside.
Well, a big night for David Villeman. One of the points we need to make is this is his last race here in the States before he goes back overseas. He's in 5th right now, wants to do well, would love to take home a victory back to Europe.
He has to take care of his contract with Yamaha of France, returning to compete in the 250 GPs in that worldwide circuit. But he has announced to us, of course, that he is returning for a full season next year. He also wants to vacation here as we see our leader, number 17, Robbie Reynard, with 3 laps to go.
He has just lost a little bit of time to LaRocco, but not enough for him to really worry about losing this heat race, unless he has a major problem in the last couple of laps. Ferry still staying within striking distance of Dowd. You see that inside rut right there? It sets up that loop section right there for a completely different timing. The guys that go wide jump in.
Ferry's a pretty good story. He's been the top privateer in every main event except one this year. And he's the highest in points of any privateer. Of course, no lean Yamaha. helps with his expenses.
That's the section where those guys are losing time. Approaching the triple right there. The front runners are jumping all the way into the corner.
They're getting a good rut inside on that corner. Robbie Raynard now with 2 laps to go. He has a 3-second lead on Mike LaRocco, our points leader, coming into this race. And then a big gap with John Dowd, Tim Ferry, and David Villeman. Dowd a 5th in the last race here at Anaheim, and that season opener trying to hold off the onrush of Tim Ferry. That's giving David Villeman a good opportunity. Here comes Villeman. Right up on the backside as he goes wide all of a sudden.
He goes wide to get a run at that triple. He'll go wide here and watch him to the whoops. He'll wheelie in. He'll go 3 out. It's a little faster, but he just doesn't have anywhere to go to make the pass. He's smart, though. He's not following.
Tyson Katie went down. That's what the crowd was oohing and awing about as the white flag comes out.
They're going to approach him.
Final lap.
There he is right there.
John Dowd, number 6. Tim Ferry behind him. David Villeman behind him.
Looked like Villeman lost a little bit of time that lap.
Villeman just getting used to the 250s, really. He outgrew the 125s and went prematurely into the 250 ranks, many thought.
Had a great ride in San Diego.
Boy, did he ever.
Getting out to that hole shot, he led it for a long time. Stayed up there. Even when he got passed for the lead, pulled by Raynard and Lusk, he was able to pass him back. Right now, LaRocco is going the other way. LaRocco is all over Raynard.
The white flag lap. Mike LaRocco wants to win this heat. Number 17 gets the checkered flag right in front of Mike LaRocco, so Robbie Raynard hauls it in. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Marty Reed as the 250 riders now taking their parade lap. There's the points leader, Mike LaRocco. LaRocco with good steady riding. As we take a look at the Suzuki point standings, you see there how close Jeremy McGrath is behind him. A battle for third between Team Honda teammates Mikel Pichon and Ezra Lusk, with John Dowd getting his first podium last week, edging into that top 5. Jeremy McGrath with the flag waving looked flawless in qualifying for the heat races. David Bailey.
He was perfect. He's the guy that set the pace all day. Got the whole shot, pulled away in his heat race, the fastest heat race by far. So really what it comes down to here is, can he get off the gate and get through the first corner clean? If he can do that, I don't see anybody out here that can beat him.
The Suzuki starting grid right now, as you see some of the other riders that made the 20-rider field. It was a real battle in the last chance qualifier for Tortelli to finally make the field.
Well, even after going down, he still managed to do what it took to get it done.
As we take a look, it's ironic when so many non-factory teams are concentrating on the 125s these days that we have the 2 top riders battling for the 250 crown coming from independent teams. Mike LaRocco, Jack in the Box, Factory Connection Honda, and Jeremy McGrath of Mazda Chaparral Yamaha. And it's the independent teams such as Chaparral that are bringing in outside sponsors, which I think is a big key to the sport's future.
We want to see all racing really become privateer teams. I think the factory's responsibility should be to offer motorcycles and technology to the teams, but the factories themselves should not be racing the motorcycles.
Dave Dameron credits Phil Alderton of Yamaha of Troy and Pro Circuit's Mitch Payton with pioneering the independent team concept. And he certainly credits the signing of Jeremy McGrath for Chaparral's successful effort.
When we made the deal with Jeremy, we went skyrocket. I mean, it just took off. Jeremy is an icon in the industry. I mean, everyone knows him. Chaparral has been a large retail mail-order facility as well as a large dealer. The combination of the 2 of them together really helped rocket the whole thing.
With a support deal from Team Yamaha, technically there's little difference from being on a factory team. But for Jeremy, it means personal freedom.
Chaparral uses Yamaha bikes, and Yamaha works on the bikes. Randy works at Yamaha and Chaparral, kind of split in between, and I get the same treatment that John Dowd and Jimmy Button get right now. So it's basically the same, but I just don't have all the rules.
I think by not forcing him to run the outdoor Supercross program, we've extended his career by at least 1 to 2 years, because he feels that he can take the time off in the summertime. He's earned it.
Just last night, Jeremy and his teammate Steve Lampson signed autographs for close to 3,000 fans at the Chaparral store. For Lammy, an independent team job was a savior.
It's good for me, you know, because I've been around for a while. I've done you know, a lot of races, and things didn't work out for me the last couple of years. So I mean, if it wasn't for, you know, the independent teams and actually Chaparral having that opening there, it'd be pretty tough for me right now.
Chaparral has also proved that having a race team is good for business.
Our fiscal year ended October 31st. So for our October 31st business year, we were up 26% last year. First 2 months, actually December, is a very good. We've done an addition to our store. We've almost doubled the size of our store. And December of December of '98, we were up 36% over December of last year. So what we'd have to say is motorcycle business is very strong. Jeremy and the race program has obviously helped bring attention to us. There's no doubt about that.
Did you ever believe the two independent teams, David, as we take a look at Mike LaRocco, would be leading in points?
Never would have thought that. I mean, I was really impressed with the way McGrath put his effort together last year, although that is a factory Yamaha that he's riding. And this year, what LaRocco has is a little bit better equipment than he had last year, too. So that's definitely helped those guys get up into those spots. And LaRocco, as we look at Raynard right here, is lined up pretty far to the inside. He tends to do that, and tonight, if he gets out of the gate a little better, which he's been doing the past couple of weeks, he's sitting in great position in that first corner to get a good start. He was the only other guy I saw riding in certain spots on the racetrack as fast as McGrath.
Okay, before they put the 30-second board up, let's go down to Marty Reed quickly.
Ricky Carmichael is scheduled to return for Team Kawasaki next week. We had a scare earlier today. We heard that he was practicing. He went down. He did. The word was he fractured his arm. That turned out not to be the case. He will be racing next week at Tampa. Team Green got a big break there.
Okay, the first round of the $250,000 Supercross Triple Crown is about to begin here in Anaheim.
These guys are nervous right now.
I don't care what they say, the money makes a difference.
It does. And there's something about this stadium, too. I don't care if they took out a whole section of seats, remodeled it. It doesn't matter. This is where you want to win.
This has been the site of the final round of the season, and traditionally, it's been the site of the opening round of the season. This year is the first time, as Albertine there with the helmet cam on during this race, but this is the first year that we've come twice to Anaheim. The opening round and now round number 5.
There you see what Albertine sees. Taking a look at Ward. He knows he just needs a good start.
And it's sideways. The gate will drop any moment now. And the first round of the Triple Crown is underway. Getting the big break was Ezra Lusk, number 4. Ezra Lusk and Mikel Pichon. Jimmy Button in second. Raynard in 4th. With McGrath in 5th. McGrath is in good position.
Well, you can see that's close quarters there. 30 feet up in the air. Right behind LaRocco. Albertine starts into the whoops. What an amazing shot. Go over that triple on the first lap and all that traffic. McGrath already works his way around Button. So good at picking riders off in this first lap. Not going to be as easy to get around Lusk and Pichon, though.
Ezra Lusk is our leader. Team Honda. He won the first 2 races of the year. Had double digits the next 2 races. Mikel Pichon is right behind him. And then it's Jeremy McGrath, number 1. Jimmy Button, number 10. Mike LaRocco, number 3. Larry Ward, number 7. And number 17, Robbie Raynard. As we go back to Albertine, who's behind number 44, Sebastian Tortelli.
Here they come over that little double, approaching the triple. Look at that airtime. Tearaway goes flying.
Tortelli trying to break in front of Raynard. You can see the battle right in front of Albertine.
McGrath has just moved into second.
McGrath in a battle with Pichon is in second place. And the rivalry is on. Ezra Lusk in the lead. Jeremy McGrath in second place. McGrath wants that points lead back again.
I was about to say, Art, that Lusk and Pichon had a great opportunity to go 1-2 again here in Anaheim, but McGrath just spoiled that. And as they say, it is on. These two out in front and proved to be the fastest riders.
As we're looking for a battle for third, Mikel Pichon and Jimmy Button coming up on the four-stroke. But now there's only one tick between Ezra Lusk and Jeremy McGrath as they go through the triple.
All the riders going wide to get a good run at the whoop section. Morocco in pretty good position. There you see him just behind Button. Morocco just gets stronger and stronger. The question is, where can he pass?
Jimmy Button, who looked so strong in the qualifying, getting around Pichon. Jimmy Button with a four-stroke. Now moves into third. He's not that far behind second place.
And Pichon gets him right back.
Pichon right back again. What a great battle this is.
Morocco sitting right behind these two. They're taking up all the good lines. McGrath has gotten close to Lusk a couple of times. Very close. Lusk has been able to open it back up.
It'll be interesting to see now if Russ gets rattled at all with the sports icon right behind him.
These guys are, it's a real fight between these two. And it's definitely for the ego right now to prove who's got the stronger head. McGrath thinks he does. Watch Lusk right here. He goes to the inside. He still jumps that triple. McGrath gets a much better run from the outside. It's smart for Lusk to practice jumping that triple. I saw him do it a couple times in practice. Button
just leaped over. Mikel Pichon back and forth for third place.
It is so difficult to get out of that corner on the inside and still make that triple. Button's got a little bit more power than Lusk. Made that a little easier for him.
Jimmy Button in third, Pichon in fourth, with Mike Morocco in fifth, and Ward in sixth.
Button doing a little nosedive, approaching the triple. That stuff doesn't seem to bother him. Some guys make a mistake like that and it rattles them for a couple of corners. Button just keeps right on rolling. Whoa, there's another one. Seemed like he even made up time. These three riders are losing time now. You'll see the other guys going the other way. Lusk and McGrath. They got that whole whoop section now. Lead. McGrath has really tightened the screws.
Here's Morocco approaching Pichon. The Jack in the Box factory connection Honda. The points leader trying to pass Team Honda's Mikel Pichon. Button now is running a lonely third, but McGrath is still not far from Ezra Lusk out front.
Pichon's mechanic, Danny Bentley, looks pretty calm.
Bentley a calm sort all the time, except after Stanton took the championship in 1992.
Yeah, he made all kinds of noise.
That's the only time I've ever seen him go bananas. We're seeing right now the battle between Mikel Pichon and Mike Morocco, and we'll be returning for the finish of round number 5 from Anaheim, California after these words. Lots of racing left here in our main event for the 250s, as there's Jeremy McGrath in second place.
McGrath actually lost some time that last lap. Lusk.
He's 5 seconds back.
Yeah, Lusk really turned it up that time. Possibly McGrath made a few mistakes here and there. Regardless, Lusk pulled away, and he's still able to jump that triple from the inside. Now, McGrath will not be able to pass him through that corner. That's where there's some passes taking place. Unless Lusk gets sideways there and can't do the triple.
Ezra Lusk over the finish line jump. 13 laps to go in our main event.
I know McGrath's riding as hard as he can. He doesn't want to let Lusk get away.
He's 4 seconds down in second place. Button in third. Pichon and Morocco, the order.
McGrath game plan really has been ride smart, consistent, and let Lusk go out there and make the mistakes that he's made in years past. I don't think that Lusk will make them unless McGrath can get up there and keep the pressure on him. Looks like LaRocco finally is able to look at Larry Ward now also, starting to put the pressure on Pichon.
Let's check in with Marty Reed.
Well, one streak is on the line. If Mike LaRocco cannot pick up one more spot, Mr. Podium would miss the podium for the first time this season in 5 races. If he cannot pick up about another 4.5 to 5 seconds and catch Jimmy Button.
Emig fans, he went down, but he's back in the pack. As Ezra Lusk is pulling a big lead now on Jeremy McGrath. You know, back in 1981, Ken Howerton became the first rider to win back-to-back appearances here at Anaheim, and he would be the last to do so until Jeremy McGrath. Only 2 riders in 24 years have won back-to-back appearances here in Anaheim. Number 4 has that chance.
We'll see if we can get Marty to work his way over and get the story on McGrath. He just went by the mechanics area and held his hand up like there may have been a problem. But he has definitely dropped off the pace. Lusk is gone now. McGrath is risking losing second place to Jimmy Button.
Button is only 1.5 seconds behind Jeremy McGrath. Here's Jimmy Button. That's got to be encouraging to Button.
There you see.
Former teammates last year on Team Chaparral.
Well, I think McGrath has got a problem. There's no way he would just drop off the pace that fast. There's only 1 lap, and Button is right on it. See what happens when he goes to the mechanics area again.
11 laps to go in our main event.
Everything still looks fine.
Let's see if Marty's checked it out yet. Marty.
Yeah, guys, I talked to Randy Lawrence, and he does not know exactly what's wrong, but he agrees with you, David Bailey. He says there's something wrong with the bike.
Jimmy Button comes up on the rear of Jeremy McGrath. McGrath holding tight.
I would love to be able to go that fast with something wrong with my bike, wouldn't you, Art?
It's amazing. McGrath holding on at the halfway point now.
Well, right here, it's just points. Think points. Go ahead and give Ezra the win. Seems to be his night, but try to limit the damage. Only lose 3 points, not 5. He'll do everything he can to hold Button back there.
Let's go back down trackside.
Hey, David, guys, we can't forget about one thing. It's not just points. It's $250,000. If you don't win this one, you don't stand a chance at the Triple Crown.
In 19 races prior here in Anaheim, there have been very few multiple winners. Jeremy McGrath is the winningest rider here at Anaheim with 4. Here's Button giving the challenge to Jeremy McGrath. Jimmy Button moving into second place. Took his time, was very patient, David Bailey.
That was a fine move by Button to get up to the inside of McGrath right there and then just be able to hold on, because McGrath did exactly the right move to try to cut right back underneath him. He'd already done it once before, but Button is having a great night.
An 11-second lead for Ezra Lusk over Jimmy Button in second place with less than 9 laps to go. Let's check it out officially on the Honda stopwatch.
You know, I had just a quick chat with Stanton in the pits today, and Ezra walked up, and he had the most serious face I think I've ever seen. Very focused. Right now, I can see why.
Look at that time click away on the Honda stopwatch.
LaRocco just going by. He had a pretty decent start, but he just wasn't able to hang with those guys. It's possible that he could catch McGrath if McGrath is, in fact, having a problem.
In recapping, it's Lusk, Button, McGrath, LaRocco, Pichon, Ward, Lamson, Huffman, Tortelli, Villeman, Robbie Raynard, and the leading privateer, Tim Ferry.
Ezra coming around to complete a lap. He knows all he's got to do is just ride consistent laps, not make any major mistakes.
Not back off too much.
57 seconds.
Oh, beautiful.
That's really all he needs to do.
The winning average of Ezra Lusk here in round 1 at Anaheim was 59-1. But that was for the entire race.
Sure. completely different layout. It's amazing to me that every week the track is completely different, but they still run right around within about 2-3 seconds of each other, all the tracks.
I was going to say that Ezra Lusk is on the way of winning his second race here in Anaheim. As we take a look at Larry Ward, Ward's still looking very smooth, and he's in fourth.
And McGrath hasn't totally given up on second place. He's still all over Button.
By correction, he's in fifth behind LaRocco.
Ward's got quite a bit of ground to make up to have a shot at LaRocco.
Getting back to what I was trying to say was this could be Lusk's second win here at Anaheim. We haven't had very many multiple winners. And Jimmy Button now is being challenged once again by Jeremy McGrath. I'll get that thought out sometime. Randy Lawrence, McGrath's mechanic.
Trying to get him to focus. He knows Jeremy's got the strength. Look at Jeremy's line there. He jumps all the way up over the tabletop, into the corner, over the triple. He's got to go wide to do it, though, and I thought that was the best line until I saw Jimmy Button come along and do all that from the inside.
6 laps left to go.
Lapping Heath Voss. McGrath has definitely turned the tables now and put all the pressure right back on Jimmy.
Jimmy Button having trouble there with Heath Voss. Giving a break for Jeremy McGrath.
Yeah, I can't figure out why Jeremy was holding his arm. Oh, Jimmy Button makes a mistake.
And Jeremy McGrath regains the position as he moves into second place.
Then he just pulls that tear off real nice and casual, like, yeah, now I can see better, too. You're not getting me back again.
Yeah. Take another look at it, David Bailey, as Button certainly did have his problems.
Watch Button. He jumps into the whoops. He jumps a little bit too far, sticks that front wheel right into a whoop, and it messes up his rhythm. Jeremy just floats by, touching the top.
It looked like he was trying to lope through it where Jeremy was up on top.
Well, that's the risk you run of jumping in. If you jump in just right, timing's perfect, it's a little bit faster. But there he jumped in a little too, only a foot. That caused him to lose second place.
Here's our leader, Ezra Lusk. Boy, what an interesting season he has had. That's for sure. Jimmy Button's coming back now on Jeremy McGrath. Button to the inside. McGrath. All kinds of courage holding on a bar-to-bar competition with Jimmy Button.
Hey, it just looks like these guys are having fun now. It's like just a Wednesday out at the Yamaha test track, and I think there's a lot at stake here.
Button coming right back. Being a little kind to Jeremy right there.
Yeah, he could have made that ugly. Jeremy sure appreciated the fact that he was getting in there and being aggressive, but didn't put him up over the berms. He sure could have. No, McGrath knows that Lusk has had his problems, a 16th and an 11th in the past 2 rounds. Hasn't helped him in the points. So he doesn't have to win this race. All he's got to do is stay ahead of LaRocco.
And with 4 laps to go, it's Ezra Lusk with a 13-second lead on Jeremy McGrath.
McGrath's teammate Steve Lamson just went off the track, got the riders all excited.
Let's go to Marty.
Down here with Mike Gosler, the last 2 weeks he couldn't find the finish line. All of a sudden he owns it.
Yeah, I think he just changed his training routine a little bit, and he's just riding real confident. He's smooth. Everything's working really good. We made some changes on the bike this week, and they seem to be working.
And you look a little happier.
Yeah, I'm happy right now.
Big smile on Mike Gosler's face, guys.
Well, Ezra Lusk winning the opener ride here. He won his heat. He looked very strong. He led 13 laps in that first race. Came back with a win in the second race, leading only 7 laps, but 2 in a row, and now he's looking for his 3rd on the season.
Yeah, and with Houston being the next round of this Triple Crown, Lusk won Houston last year, so he's looking pretty good for that.
Good observation. The rider that wins the 3 Triple Crown rounds pockets $250,000.
How come they didn't have that when I was racing? That might have been just what I needed.
They knew you'd win it. David Bailey, one of the multiple winners right here at Anaheim.
McGrath still flying that flag. Not quite fast enough, but smart. The main thing is having that #1 plate on his bike, and this is all over with. He doesn't have to beat Lusk tonight to do it. Here's the helmet cam as McGrath comes around and laps Albertine.
Looking right down at Jeremy McGrath as they go into the corner. You can tell where they put in their eyes, can't you?
Yep, wherever Albertine's looking is what we're getting a shot of. You see how close he got to McGrath as they enter that whoop section where their lines cross. These guys get close like that, but they all understand what each other are doing out there.
Lusk, McGrath, Button, LaRocco, the top 4 with Ward in 5th, Huffman in 6th. Milliman and Tortelli, the 2 Frenchmen, in 7th and 8th.
I love the way McGrath goes around that corner. Just sits actually kind of on the back of the seat, which normally you wouldn't want to do. You want to slide forward.
White flag is out. Final lap for Ezra Lusk. He's looking to become the second winningest active rider in Supercross. This would be his 9th career victory.
Well, he didn't set the world on fire in his heat race, and I didn't really notice him putting in that many hard laps in practice, but the guy's got the speed when it counts.
Ezra Lusk looking very smooth on the final lap.
Well, this puts things back the way he'd like to have them.
Putting on the show.
It's hard to do any kind of styling over that triple. These guys don't get much of a run at it. They get a lot of airtime. It's straight up.
Especially after getting slicker earlier in the evening. The checkers are out. The checkers are waving. Ezra Lusk, his 3rd victory of the season, his 9th career victory.
McGrath with a smart 2nd.
McGrath picking up some points on McGrath, or I should say on LaRocco, as Jimmy Button takes 3rd.
McGrath showing good sportsmanship, rides by Lusk, pats him on the back.
LaRocco just coming over the finish line in 4th. And it looks like Larry Ward in 5th and Huffman maybe taking the 6th spot. We'll have to check the official standings. But Jeremy McGrath doing a great job, just playing it cool. We'll total up the points and hear from our winner when we return. Here we take a look at the official results now. Ezra Lusk got the whole shot money $1,000, but more importantly, it puts him in line for $250,000 as the first round of the Triple Crown a winner. Jeremy McGrath smartly riding for 2nd place, regains the points lead. Jimmy Button, LaRocco, Ward, Huffman, Villeman, Tortelli, Pashone, and Ferry are top 10. Let's go down to Marty Reed, who's with our happy winner.
First question in my mind was, were you thinking about that $250,000 possibility anywhere out there?
Oh, no. I was, last 2 weeks I've really been focused on that hard and like I really wanted to. And come off a little bit of an injury at San Diego, held me back from some of my practices during the week. And tonight I felt really, really good. I didn't feel rusty at all. And, man, I was just thinking about #1 behind me and being perfect because I know how good he is.
Did you make any mistakes out there? Because every time you came by me, you were clean.
Man, I'll tell you what, I rode a perfect race. I was able to go back home last week and practice with one of my old practice buddies back home in Florida, and we had a blast. We were pushing each other like no tomorrow, and I rode a perfect race, and I felt really, really good. Dunlop, Honda, and Fox, those guys gave me an awesome bike, and Ed needs shoes and Scott goggles.
Well, congratulations, and keep thinking about Houston because I know we will. Let's move over to 2nd place. We talked with Randy. David Bailey thought that there was a problem with the bike. Was there?
Well, I caught right up to Ezra. I got behind him, and all of a sudden I started feeling a little bit of a vibration. It was a little bit unfortunate there. I felt something vibrating. I thought it might have been the wheels. The spokes coming loose or something. The track's so hard out there; it's tough on the bikes. The jumps are long, the whoops are hard, and it's rough on the bikes. So I don't know. We'll have to go back and see. But I put it on conservative mode as soon as I felt that. It kind of gradually got a little bit worse, and then towards the middle end, it started saying the same. So I figured I could pick it back up to a good conservative pace, and actually I'm fortunate.
For the 3rd time in 3 weeks, there's a change in the points lead. Guess who has it now?
Well, hopefully me. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm happy about that. My Mazda Chaparral Yamaha is running good, and we got 800 collect, no fear gear now, spy goggles, revenge drinks, and you know, we got everyone out there. Everyone's doing a great job, and
You got so many sponsors that take another hour for us to get them all in there, so we better send it back upstairs. Good ride.
thanks a lot.
Okay.